Good afternoon, evening, whenever you see this, my loves. For those of you that are new to my page or my channel, hi, welcome. My name is Symphony Thompson, and I am a self-care coach that helps millennials create more holistic and intentional self-care routines to aid them on their healing journey. And today is Thankful Thursday. And this morning, when I woke up, I was thinking about, I had a conversation with one of my friends the other day, and we started talking about sexual abuse, and it made me realize, one, how little we talk about those things in the Black community. I mean, I can only speak for the Black community, but how little we talk about that stuff, how much of our lives are, I guess, surrounded, or like how we respond to life or how we choose to respond to life is based on the abuse that we experienced throughout our lives. And it made me think about like stuff that I'd been through. And she was talking about stuff that she had been through too, that stuff we didn't even realize was considered abuse until now we actually sit down and talk about it, and it was actually abuse. And then I was thinking last night, I was talking to my husband, and I realized how much trauma I still have around those things. Like, it's hard to see yourself for who you are sometimes because you're still wrapped up in those traumas. You're still dealing with those traumas every day. You're in survival mode, right? And it got me to thinking, like, of course, some of us aren't really ready to deal with those things or don't realize that we need to deal with those things. But it made me realize, like, how can we grow if we don't create safe spaces for each other to talk about stuff like that? Like, it doesn't have to be sexual abuse necessarily. Like, abuse comes in so many different forms. But we all have some kind of trauma behind, like, our lives. Like, how we got to become the person that we are today. There's some kind of trauma. You were in survival mode, and some of us are still in survival mode. So it got me to thinking, like, how do we come out of that? How do we begin to thrive? And I know it's by having those conversations, but it's also by being open and honest with yourself. Trusting yourself, because that's the only way that we're going to be able to grow. You have to start trusting yourself. A lot of us experience things that weren't our doing. And because of somebody else betraying our trust, we begin to not trust ourselves. So our goal now is to learn how to trust ourselves, how to love ourselves, how to begin to believe in ourselves again. Because we are not what we've been through. Yes, we experienced traumatic things. Yes, those experiences have come with us to where we are now, but we don't have to continue to live that life. We don't have to continue to tell those stories. We can begin to let things go and grow and heal. But everybody's journey is going to be different. You just have to figure out how to start yours. It doesn't have to start today. And even if it does start today, like simply by saying, I want better for myself because I love me enough to choose me. I love me enough to grow. Yes, it happened to me, but that's not my story anymore. That's not my narrative. I'm the author and creator of my life, and I choose to create a life that is safe, that I feel protected, a life that I don't have to feel like I have to run from. I choose to surround myself with people that love me and nourish me and protect me just as I do for myself and for them. We have to start creating those spaces, but it only starts with you. Be a part of your own rescue. And I know y'all probably seen this in a couple of videos because I've talked about it before, but when I first started Be You, Be a Part of Your Own Rescue, it was solely out of anger. I was so hurt. I was so angry and bitter and resentful, so much resentment in my heart. And I was like, you know what? You got to be your own rescue. Ain't nobody out here saving nobody. You need to do this on your own. And then slowly, as I started shedding all those traumas and experiences, and I started to grow, and I started to water my plant, and I started changing the soil, my surroundings, the things that I listened to, the more I realized, yes, be a part of your own rescue, but in your rescue, there are like-minded people that want the best for you. But you have to start the work first in order for those people to find you. Because if you're still broken, well, I don't even say broken. If you're still dealing with those traumas, you might end up hurting those people that are there to help you, the people that are there to serve and protect you. So we have to first do the work, identify what those traumas and triggers are. And sometimes it's not easy figuring those things out, but it's okay. The first step is accepting that you want different, you want to grow, you want a new experience, you want a new life, new beginnings. That's the first step. And trusting yourself enough to know that just because that's where I was, that doesn't mean that's where this is going to end up at. I trust myself enough to understand that where I'm going, I will always be protected. As long as I listen to my heart, I operate in love, I constantly protect my heart, I surround myself with people that protect my heart, and I listen to God, and I follow His purpose for my life, the healing will begin. It's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. Some days are going to be harder than others. Sometimes, even after years of working, some things surface and it feels like you're back at square one. But it doesn't mean that the work that you put in prior to didn't work or wasn't enough. It just means that you need a little more growth. You need to pay attention to that area a little more. Maybe it was some things that you ignored, because sometimes that's the thing too. We don't want to, we know what we need to do to heal and grow, but because we know that the work is ugly and hard and painful, we don't want to do the work. But on the other side of that work, on the other side of those tears, on the other side of that pain, that trauma, there's so much more. The sun shines a little brighter on that side. You smile a little more on that side. You love a little harder on that side. You trust a lot more on that side. It's not easy, I promise you. But I guarantee that every day that you wake up and you choose you, you invest in you, every day it's going to get better and better.